So I decided that I'd do a follow-up video like right away to that because it's fresh and I've read that chapter a couple times. It's one of the only chapters that I've read a few times. I think I've made it to like the third, maybe fifth chapter, a couple of them. Uh, it's pretty obvious to see why this book was taken out of print during the time that it was in publication. He is boldly and just plainly saying, I'm going to compare the Bible to other religions around the world and show you that they're all saying the exact same thing. Which is something that I've actually felt quite a bit throughout my life. I wouldn't call myself a Christian in the sense that like I follow any of the doctrines or the dogmas that exist today. Um, After doing a lot of research, the most that I can say is that I would be considered in the Gnostic area. I know that that doesn't quite exist as it used to at one time, some 1700 plus ish years ago. But I do believe that Christ is one of many divine incarnations of a larger being that goes beyond human comprehension, understanding, and does not demand so much as worship but devotion in life, devotion to life, love of life, and empathy, caretaking, ultimately. There's a specific word that I always love for this, being stewards to this reality and all beings who have the opportunity to come here. That's kind of like what we were put here to do. We were put here to keep this place good, to make sure that it's a good place for future generations, for future animals, for all things that come down the line, not to just take and consume and destroy and really try to control and make the worlds as the powerful ones would wish for them to be. What I really like about that chapter in specific is the connection that it talks about, because I've had my own realization or term that came into my head some years ago that I call the golden thread. And the way that I describe the golden thread is that throughout all of religion, science, everything, science is a little bit more cut and dry, but you have to realize that it's observation, not control. What we think we control, we're really just manipulating what we've observed to make something happen. Uh, like science is really cool and stuff, but it's not the end all be all, and it can't ultimately explain everything because there's just some things that we won't be able to see. But much in the same way, uh, that goes into the different religions of the world. I say that woven through all of them, about 25% of it is the truth. The rest of it is regional dogma, different languages, people getting tied up in these politics, that politics, and religion really being used as a means of control rather than a means of allowing somebody to attain true freedom, spiritual freedom, and sovereignty over themselves as a being meant to live an existence here, not as a slave, not as a servant, not as a worshiper, but as a creator and a doer and a beer in this world. I know I kind of probably sound a little out there. That's how I feel about a lot of this stuff, is that so much of it can bring so much good into this world and has brought so much good into this world, but also so much of it has been used in the other way, and that's kind of what turned me off to pretty much all forms of religion at one time. And through a lot of personal growth, journeying, healing, and experiences, I've really come to find that there is a resonance within all of them, and I find a resonance within all people, whether I like them or I don't like them, because there is a piece of me that's inside of them that's everywhere else also, and that piece of me that I can see in them is that same piece that I see in you, I see in me, I see in all things. So this is going to be a really fun book to go through with you, anyone who decides to tune in and watch and hear me occasionally stumble through my dyslexia. Thank you for joining. This has been Andriel